Women Taking the Lead, Episode 8.
If I go back, I will tell myself, you're accepted, people love you, and just shine with what you do have.
Hello, my name is Jody Flynn, and welcome to Women Taking the Lead, where we are all about creating blasts of inspiration to help you overcome self-doubt so you can lead with confidence, integrity, and a sense of humor. Your future awaits, so let's get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm here with Dr. Pei, who is a radio host, speaker, dentist, and a business leadership and communication fanatic. She came to the U.S. in her 20s from China and is currently the business executive and co-host of the ReLaunch show. She is also a gifted endodontist and yoga instructor. In her spare time, she enjoys hiking and playing doggie-mom. She calls herself a part-time dentist living a full life. Pei, that's just a little teaser for everyone. So tell us a little bit more about you and where you came from.
Thank you for the opportunity, Jody. I absolutely love this topic because when I realized the mission of your show and the value you hope to bring, I'm like, that is my life, and I cannot wait to share the tips and tricks or the struggles I picked up along the way. And looking back, I'm like, I want to tell that person that maybe 5 years younger, 10 years younger, the truth. And this is my opportunity. So thank you very much. So yeah, where I am now, I absolutely enjoy being full-time working with my husband with this online business. But where I came from, I actually had 8 to 10 years of brick and mortar business. I sold it last year. It was very successful. And I'm just in a time of transition where I'm finding new territories and embracing new challenges. So that's what I'm doing currently.
Awesome. And you've clearly had success. You've bought and sold a successful business. You've had your own relaunch, which is what your show is all about. You've done it several times, and you've definitely gained some confidence. But take us back to a time when you were playing small and you may not have realized it at the time. Share with us that stories and the lessons you've learned since then.
My goodness, playing small. Sometimes I even wonder, even now I am, but at least I have the awareness. But back then, there are numerous times I was playing small, and I can just give you a couple examples here. So the first biggest one will be when I came to the U.S. I was kind of a leader when I grew up, although I never even make my name, put leader or leadership. I never associate my name with that before. I was kind of placed in as a class representative or student representative, but I thought, okay, I'll do it. I took it as a duty, as something I'm able to do and learn and have fun with. But when I came to this country when I was 25, from a country at that time, back then in China, was still somewhat in poverty. It's much better than when I grew up, though, because during my childhood, I remember the days where we just did not have, it doesn't matter how much money, there's not enough food or resources. But when I was 25, the country has grown, has becoming wealthy already. But when I came to the U.S. by myself with 2 suitcases and my mom's life savings in my pocket, at first I was like, okay, this is my new land. But then the next thing is, what am I going to do? Can I make it happen? Who am I? I'm this girl that couldn't even speak to people, couldn't express my feelings, don't even know my values. Well, I didn't, because I constantly focused on what I did not have, the resources, the people. I knew nobody, and so for quite a few years, I was hiding myself. I did not have that confidence to even to go out and make a friend. I wait for people to come to me to talk to me. I was very self-conscious of my accent. I was, when people approach me, my first fear is, oh my gosh, how am I going to talk to this person? I didn't know that my value and worth never changed. That was only temporary. But I saw that as infinite. I lived in a place where I even went through a period of depression without knowing what depression was like. So that was definitely one of my first playing small time. It lasted quite a few years, though.
Wow, that's amazing. What I really jumped out at me was when you said at that time you were focusing on what you didn't have.
Totally.
More so when you arrived in the United States than when you were in China, when there was not enough food and resources. The part in your story where you said you started to focus on it was when you came to the United States, and then you started to hide yourself rather than taking on, even though you didn't title them that way back when you were a student, but you weren't. It sounds like you weren't taking on as many leadership roles or stepping up to do new things, that you were keeping yourself away because you didn't want to bring attention to yourself.
Oh, totally. And what's interesting is, on the surface, I was one of the most successful graduate students. I won numerous international, national conference awards on my presentations. Those things kind of helped me a little bit, but again, you're right. My focus at the time was still on what I like, what I did not have.
And what did you learn about that experience now that you look back on it, right? We all have that moment where we look back and go, that was crazy. I had everything I needed. I was fine. People, would have accepted me. What did you learn from that experience?
I think that was a huge growth period of my life. I was like a dry sponge trying to absorb everything, and like for the first time, because instead of gradually learn things, I try to learn about how people interact, how to even describe, how to order some food for myself. At a cashier, I didn't know there's such a thing as tax. I calculated how much things add up, and then there's the extra I gotta pay. So if I have to tell that person back then, it will be, this is just a phase. Have fun with it. Kind of don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah.
I love that. Now share with us a time in your journey when you had a wake-up call. Take us back to that moment and share with us the steps you took that led to your success.
Okay. So this is interesting. So I had acquired the business, and I worked hard to make it happen, because when I got the practice, I took over a business that's been there for 30 years, owned by a Caucasian ex-military doctor who has this, Texas accent. And I was like, that's none of me. I don't know.
Yeah, that is not you.
I don't know if the community is going to accept me. So, at that time, I gained a lot of confidence already. But it's almost like I was once again placed in a very unfamiliar, challenging environment. So for quite a while, I had to feel like I felt like I have to be accepted. And, with my staff, even though the last few years when I was owning the practice, the numbers looked awesome. The bottom line was great. And the staff were, I can't say every moment, every day it was great, but it was a great team. And people in the community actually call us to see if anybody will retire and want to start working for me. So all those signs did not let me to feel that I'm a great leader and owning a great business. Somehow I still focus on there's things I didn't know. I didn't know everything about this business. There's some equipment I wish I know how to fix. There's some office procedure I wish I know a little bit more. So with that kind of focus, I never spoke about myself as this great leader and business owner till the very, very end. When I sold the practice and when I saw looking back, and then after I sold the practice, when I walk away and start to hear about other practices, because that's when I start having more time, hearing more stories, I'm like, wow, why didn't I know that I have done this? Because there are other dentists, either they were having trouble with communication to their patients, to their staff, or the numbers weren't right. And all this time, I did not know that. I just focused on what I didn't know. So I fell into that trap.
Pei, I'm wildly curious because you're recognizing that that characteristic in you to kind of downplay your strengths and your leadership ability, but now you have an awareness that you are really good at what you do, that when you get interested in something, it takes off. How is this impacting your online business that you're in right now?
Awesome question, Jody. When even in the beginning, when I was helping Joel, because he's the creative mind behind lots of things, he takes action. For me, I didn't realize for the first few months, I was creating a system that increase our productivity and increase our marketing effort, and it helps. It saves us time and increase our business exposure. And then I start noticing, oh my gosh, there's more than me than just performing dentistry, than just owning this brick and mortar business. And then when we had a class teaching podcasters on how to do just that, and when they start asking questions and I had answers, I'm like, oh, I love that. I love the fact that now, all these years of, just struggles, life experience and business experience, the thing is, I love to learn, but along the way, I forgot what I learned. I forgot that I mastered this, mastered that. And so teaching a class sometimes is a great thing for new business owners, even if you don't feel you're ready, because I didn't feel like I was ready. Joe's the one that's always feel he's ready, even if he's not ready.
That is a great segue to my next question, because you've talked about the differences between how Joel approaches things and how you approach things. And what I want everyone to get is there's no one way to lead, right? There's no one perfect right way that you have to take on leadership and be a leader. We're all different and we're going to do it differently. So, Pei, how would you describe your leadership style?
That is a great question. And you're absolutely right. We all need to play our own strengths in our leadership. And now, so I start to pay so much attention to my leadership style that my strength is in communication and organization. I can take things that appear to be chaotic and make it in order. I see it from a 10,000-foot view. That's my strength. And when I communicate, I always focus on not always, just to be honest here. When my mind is in the right place, I focus on what the result is going to be. I think that's a key when we communicate either with our staff or even our family members, rather than getting into that reactive mode.
And what is one thing that you're working on right now that you're really excited about?
Product creation. Absolutely. Because after a while, you know the things has worked for you. And there's a need out there. It's different in the different stages of business. This is the next few weeks will be our product creation, and honestly, sometimes we make business sound so complicated. It's really just have a great product and know how to sell it. I can't simplify it even more, although there are many stages. But if you have a good product and you know how to market and sell it, those are the main components, and you just fill in what you need to do for each step, and really that's it.
Oh, okay. You've really got me curious. So I'm going to be watching the news feeds, and I'm going to be watching for when this product launches, because I'm really excited to hear more about it.
Thanks.
And now I'm going to do a quick leadership roundup. So tell us, what is one practice that makes you a better leader?
Okay. Give me just a second. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's one I shared. Is the focus on the result of your communication. Because, for example, if I have, just yesterday, I was talking to Joel. We were trying to decide on what to do next. And then we get, when you're an entrepreneur, there's so many distractions, so many things that pulling you away from this main focus. And we're both getting sidetracked after a while. So again, I step back, said, okay, well, first of all, what is our goal? And second is, we're husband and wife here. And it's easy for us to get emotional about things, but if we're talking about business here, what's the goal we want to achieve? Let's focus on that. I
love
hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. What that brought to mind was Stephen Covey's habits of highly effective people. And one of the habits is begin with the end in mind. And that's exactly what you're talking about, is thinking about the result that you want first and then planning on how you're going to get there.
Right. And communicate it without too much distractions, and just, get the emotion out of the way, even if it's with your husband, with your children, or focus on the result you want to create.
Yeah, and the facts. I love that. What is one book that you would recommend to a woman to help her develop her leadership?
There's so many. And even if you read about personal development, it helps your leadership. And I know, Jody, you know that.
Yes.
But the one I enjoy right now, I'm still in the middle of reading it. He's on our show, Nick Morgan. I know he's a man, but you might want to approach him too. The title is Power Cues. And he was on our show talking about how we actually sometimes can use our voice and to train our voice so actually other people pay more attention to you as you speak. And it's very interesting because it's not just about body language, about the words we use, but also how our voice tones, and everything counts as you convey a message.
I believe that 100%. Mm-hmm. Yes, because when someone doesn't sound confident about what they're saying, you listen to them differently than someone who sounds sure of themselves. You totally doubt the person who lacks confidence. And so it waters down the message or makes the message unclear. So I love that. I'll definitely have to check that out.
That's why podcasting is such a powerful tool, because the listeners, they can read. Of course, that's sometimes is faster, but there's so much power that's coming through a voice.
I love audiobooks. They're one of my favorite things right now. Mm-hmm. I switch back and forth between the Kindle and audiobooks, depending on the type of book it is. If it has a lot of technical information and steps and to-dos, I like it on the Kindle because then I can, mark the page and constantly come back to it. But if it's telling a story, conveying an idea, higher concepts, I love listening to it. I feel like I take it in much better than if I'm reading it. So yes, I agree with that as well, that hearing somebody's voice conveying an idea, it resonates more with me than if I'm just reading it, because I'm implying tone.
Right.
That may or may not be accurate. So, yes. And what is your favorite healthy food?
Good question. I absolutely love mixing my own decaf mocha. My husband loves mocha, but I don't buy it from like Starbucks because there's just way too much sugar for me. So I actually find a formula. I think it definitely was online. Mix raw organic cocoa with a little bit either maple syrup or honey, and then pour in my decaf, and I just watch that foam. And sometimes I think if you replace that honey with maple syrup, a grade B or a grade A, I forgot, I have to give you more information so you can put on your website. It actually helps to, if you drink it between 7 and 9 in the morning, supposedly helps your emotions, or I forgot. I definitely will send you more information.
I definitely going to want that recipe because that sounds yummy. And I would love the information behind why the ingredients are so good for us. I'm fascinated by that. That's one of the things I really enjoy doing is finding out which ingredients impact different areas of health. So I would love that information. And knowing what you know now, if given a chance to go back and do anything differently, what would you change?
Okay. I will walk out every day. And this is something I actually learned from Paul Meyer. I met him in person in a banquet before he passed away. I absolutely adore that man. He said he will walk out, and before he, knowing he got business to do, he got people to meet, negotiate, he will picture himself walk out. There's a red carpet in front of him, and people just love him and they want to do business with him. I will go if I go back, I will tell myself, you're accepted, people love you, and just shine with what you do have.
I love that. And before we say goodbye, share with us a success quote or a mantra and why it has meaning for you.
Okay. This guy, Jeff Corhan, he was on our show. You know what? That was Jay Bear. I'm so sorry. I got two names mixed up.
That's okay.
He's a huge social media guru. He says something that I absolutely love, and I need to apply it to myself in my marriage, in my business life, everywhere. He said, the decision to succeed comes before a plan. Because I tend to be the how person. I always look at, is that even possible? Is that, can I do that? But if I look at, I am committed. Because I think commitment has been a struggle for this current generation and younger, actually, because I think our parents and grandparents, they know commitments. But for us to get sidetracked, even sometimes in so many marriages or in business, to try to grab maybe the next idea will work. But the decision to succeed comes first. I always want to remind myself that.
I love that. And lastly, what is the best way for our listeners to connect with you?
Oh, thank you. ReLaunchShow.com. That's where we live. And all our social media contacts are there, and some free resources as well.
Awesome. And Pei, thank you so much for taking the time to inspire us and enlighten us. We're all better for having met you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity and for you to be on our show as well.
I loved it. Had such a good time. Thank you, Pei.
Thank you.
Wow, I loved having that conversation with Dr. Pei. She has such an amazing spirit. And if you have a chance, definitely go check out her show, the ReLaunch show that she does with her husband, Joel. Similar format, really diving deep into somebody's life and getting to know them and how they did their relaunch. And you can find all the resources mentioned in this episode at womentakingthelead.com. Or if you love efficiency like I do, you can enter womentl.com and you will find her in the podcast tab. And if you have a few moments and you're at your computer, or at the very least, you're not driving, if you could head over to iTunes and leave a rating and a review for Women Taking the Lead, I would so appreciate that. It gives me insight into what you like and what you would like to see more of in the show, and it also enables others to find the show more easily. Thank you all for joining me on Women Taking the Lead. And to strengthen you on your own leadership journey, I'd like to send you off with a quote from Marianne Williamson, so here goes. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Again, thank you for joining me, and here's to your success.